Alrighty then. If you're just joining us, which I'm sure you just are because I just started the stream, and you're listening on archives, we haven't started the show yet. Waiting on Breakman to show up. Lots of interesting things to talk about on the show today. Normal news, of course. Um, we're gonna have a heck of a show, man. We're gonna be talking about the coronavirus. I'll be talking about some stuff I said last week and how I feel this week compared to last week. Um, I made a quick appearance on national television, which I'll get to. Um, what else? But a lot of the discussion is going to be centered around the coronavirus. There's some political stuff too. Hopefully we won't get roped into long conversations about all the shitty stuff that happened in politics, but I will go over it. South by Southwest was canceled due to the coronavirus outbreak. Boy, do we got a lot to talk about, Eric. We were talking a little bit off.
The Turbo Mini too.
What's that?
The Turbo Duo Mini.
Yeah.
The PC Engine Mini, sorry.
It's going to affect a lot of things, and if you haven't pre-ordered your PS5 or your Xbox, you might want to do that because there may be a limited supply. I mean, it's kind of a stupid thing to talk about.
Well, I don't even know how much it cost yet, so I am not even saving money for one until I know what the cost is.
Yeah. Well, there might not be any available anyways if you don't pre-order it, so it might be a moot point, Eric.
Well, I could still save the money.
Yeah, you could do that, and then when they come available, you can...
It just means I buy a TV first.
Yeah, that might be a good idea. Oh boy, is there a lot to talk about with the virus, from business being affected, from the stock market, from, politics to... just everything in general. But we're waiting on Breakman. He should be here any minute. We start normally 7 Eastern on Fridays. So if you're listening on archives, you want to join the chat, what are you doing? If you're listening on YouTube archives, our live chat is usually in... I have both the YouTube and Twitch chat open, but I hardly ever get any chatters in the YouTube chat. It seems like Twitch is the place to go for chatting. So if you'd like to do that, then join us on a Friday. If you've always listened to the show on archive and you want to join us live, then feel free to do so. We would really love to have you there. We have a fairly lively chat. So give me 1 second. We'll start the show. We're just waiting on Breakman. I got to close this door, and I think I'm all set up. But I'll be right back. Just give me a minute to close this door, and then we'll get started here. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that quick delay. Had to close the door. And now we're just getting ready for the show as I put my headphones on. Give me 1 second, folks. Oh. Whew. What a week. What a week indeed, Eric. How was your week, Eric?
It was a week.
Yeah, it was definitely a week, man.
I've gotten past the really thick buildup congestion part of my cold, but I still got leakage.
There's a possibility, Eric, since you caught that cold, that you could have some sort of immuno response to if that coronavirus spreads, which is very, very likely at this point, just based on the map that I saw. There's a chance that may help you, Eric. I'm not 100% sure on that, but as things go, that might be a good thing for you to have that cold before, the coronavirus gets circulated in Ohio. No.
I'll probably be okay by Monday, but
yeah. Um,
It's just that it's basically just getting rid of all the stuff that was in my throat before.
Yo, Wyland, you're in chat. Should be a fun show. Let us know if you can hear us, Wyland. I can see you. We'll be started here in a couple minutes, just trying to get break on in. Lots to talk about today. Can you believe it? I even made it on national television. I still am. Uh, Apparently, Wyland can heat us. Yeah. All right, thanks, Wyland. Appreciate that, man.
Heat Guy J.
Yeah.
I never actually watched that.
Um, but it is. It was really cool. Bernie and I went to a wrestling event that I will talk about, and we were on TV. I couldn't believe it. It was weird. I wish I would have brought an RPGrinders sign because that would have been really helpful. I had no idea what we were gonna be in the middle of. Yeah, I'll talk about it later. Um, just waiting on if you're just joining us. We're just waiting on break to get fired up. I don't know. I think he had to restart or something. Um, you know how Break's computer does its thing. It's got a mind of its own, and when it wants to work, it works. I wish maybe he worked on it. I don't know if he actually got the if he got the old computer to work in his favor for a change. Um, Jesus Christ, I can't take some of that shit, man. Little bit of politics, not much to talk about this week. Very disappointing week in my view, but well, politics always have a tendency to um, disappoint. So why should this year be any different? Yeah, Wyland is bummed about Final Combat. Did they was that at was that canceled for sure, Wyland? I don't. That wasn't at South by Southwest, was it? I don't know where they hold Final Combat, man. But I heard some rumors that they might cancel it. Um, but Wyland, we're gonna get into it, dude. It's probably for the best. I did some reading, and last week I felt differently, and I'll talk about it. It's it's no joke, man. That shit's crazy, and I'll go over some stuff with everybody. I mean, there's no really getting prepared for it. 80%, 70 to 80% of us are gonna get that virus. Luckily most of us aren't. Um, wow, Last Chance qualifiers and live audience was canceled. Yeah, that's a bummer, Wyland, for sure, but it's for good reason, man. And I'll get to it when we talk about it. But the top 16 are still playing. Okay, that's cool. It seems stupid on the surface, Wyland, but it really isn't,
If
man.
you only care about games, maybe it is stupid.
There's I felt that way last week, Wyland. I really did. I felt that way last week. This week's a different story just because of the information that I've come across. And it's not fear mongering. It's not they should have canceled it 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I agree.
Probably true, but it's too late. So.
Yeah, I agree, Wyland. I totally agree with that. That for sure you have a right to be pissed off at, but the overall sentiment is that it's the right thing to do. It may anger a lot of people because I know how important that event is for a lot of people. We'll get into it. Wyland. It's I have some. I'm not an alarmist, Wyland. If anything, you've known me over the years to be at least mostly rational. I know some things I say are off the wall and stuff like that, but it just I don't know. People were on flights from the UK when that dropped. Yeah, that's a shame for them. But it's the right thing, Wyland. Like I said, we'll definitely you know talk about it in depth and free for all, and maybe even before that. Um, but it's the right call, Wyland. I know a lot of people had a lot invested in that particular tournament, but um, last week if you would ask me this same question, I would have been on board that it's all bullshit and stuff like that. But the more info that you get, and when you understand the real scope of what's going on, and you understand the suppression of information, and the fact that most people aren't looking for that information, then it's a really scary thing. We're probably a month away from a full-on pandemic, and some of the results that I'm seeing are not very promising. I'm not saying this is zombie apocalypse territory at all. I don't want to get anybody panicked that's listening. Please don't panic. It's not on that level yet, but it's got potential to be super devastating, and I'll put it in perspective when we go over it. Lots to talk about today, though. We've got a little bit of news. Um, I'm looking it over now. I looked at it before, but there was nothing yet super major other than a few updates and stuff like that. But we've got lots to talk about, man. Anyways, got a funny Heiscapade this week, so it'll be a return of Heiscapade. Eric's got a homie discount for all the
No,
hentai lovers out
it's
there. Is that
it's
old?
uh it's basically the one I did last week, but it's still going.
Okay, well that's fine. We can go over that again. Um, Shit, I haven't had time to play much of anything this week, which is weird.
There's also a yaoi one for those who are interested in boys love stuff.
Oh, okay. Eric's got a couple of reviews. Um, Stinko should be fairly interesting. I'll tell you all about my
In fact, I'll add
uh,
that to the.
national TV appearance in all my glory and Bernie's glory. Bernie was with me, so she was there too. Just waiting on break. I think we can get him uh, in just a second here. So let's just get him on the line. There we go. Okay, let's see. Breakman, do we have you?
Yes.
All right. Sounding good. I didn't get a chance to test if you guys can hear, but let's see if you guys can hear. Oh, fuck. I don't know. This.
In an era of online retail where everything is
Did
just
you guys
a few
hear
clicks
that?
away, buying a car should be
Yeah. Can they hear this?
How dare you, man? We haven't started yet, break, but lots to talk about, man. Lots to talk about today. You ready to go,
Indeed.
break?
Yeah.
What about you, Eric?
Where's
Yeah.
my list at? Hold
Your
on.
list.
And my stinko. I made some stinkos.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's
I
def.
found it. I got it. I'm ready.
All right, cool. I think we're all ready to go. I'd like some nachos and fries to go. All right, here we go. And welcome, everybody, to episode 581 of RPGrinders. I'm your host, Frank Branches, alongside my trusty cohorts, Eric the Great and Breakman the Bold. Gentlemen, how are you?
Kind of the same as last week. Just still, this cold doesn't want to go away.
It's slightly better, hopefully, man. Slightly better.
Yeah, I'm not having to pause every so many seconds to cough, other than when it gets too full.
Yeah. What about you, Break?
I'm all right.
Just all right. Yeah, it's been a week, hasn't it? It's been a week. Some definite highs and lows for me, but we'll get into it, I'm sure, and Stinkos and Sweetos and stuff like that. But anyway, like, why don't we just get started with news, get that over with, and then we can start talking. RPG news. All right, Eric, you're up.
All right, from RPG site, we've got an HD remaster collection announcement from Nisa with Prinny 1 and 2 Exploded and Reloaded to release on Nintendo Switch this fall. And it combines the Prinny, Can I Really Be the Hero? And Prinny 2, Dawn of Operation Panties, dude. Yes, it's about trying to find Edna's panties.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah.
The graphics look updated and really, really nice. So now it's kind of a platformer, right, Eric? I never played the Prinny games.
Yeah, and it's like really hard because the whole conceit of the game is that you have to go through. You have 1,000 Prinnies, which are basically your lives because they die in one hit.
Yeah.
To get through a level.
Oh, geez. Yeah. I mean, that's a nifty
It's
concept.
kind of ghouls and ghosts in a way.
Yeah. Wow. Then it must be hard. Looks like they got a nice little.
But they got a special edition called the Just Desserts Special Edition, which is going for $60 because these games are originally budget games to begin with. So
yeah.
But it contains the scrapbook and a Soggy poster and a Prinny block figure and a mix CD. This is the first game that I think Soggy had her first appearance in.
Yeah. I don't think it's worth $60.
I thought you said a soggy poster, and I'm like, what the fuck? What kind of shitty gift is that?
I know. You get it in the mail, and it's all like sopping wet, and you put it up on the wall, and it just like
gross!
drips.
The ink rubbed off on my fingers. Ew.
Exactly, man. Exactly. All right. Anything else on that, Eric?
But apparently there's like a post-game chapter, so there's technically a third game after the two.
Huh. Okay.
Which is only available in this version.
I guess that's cool. Any extra content is cool that you don't have to pay for. Although, I think that's kind of a premium to pay. Like I don't think that particular collection's worth $60, but there might be some interested parties out there for sure. All right. Anything else on that, Eric?
I'm selling my PSP copies.
There you go. All right. Breakman, you're up.
Oh, here's an interesting one. Coming to us live from RPG site. An unexpected game has been ported to the mobile devices.
Yeah.
Castlevania Symphony of the Night is now available for Google and iOS App Store.
Yes. That's really, really strange. But
Now, from what I heard, it plays as well as you'd expect a mobile port to play.
okay.
Yeah,
In other words, it probably plays fine, but have fun playing without a gamepad.
Yeah.
Well, you can use controllers with it. Thank God. If you couldn't use controllers, I would say no, absolutely not. $2.99, and if you have a controller you can use with it, then absolutely, because it'd be awesome with a controller. But
yeah.
I wonder which version of the game this is based on. I wonder if it's based on the re-release that was on PSN that had the I Am the Sun song cut out, or if it's the original PlayStation game.
It's probably the latter, I'm guessing, Eric. If they had problems with... go ahead, Eric. Brett.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, go right ahead.
Probably had the retranslation, too.
Yeah. Okay. Go right ahead, Breakman. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say, like, it's probably the upgraded version because of whatever, like, copyright infringement rules or some shit.
Yeah.
Which is what you were saying, so it was kind of...
That's okay.
It has 6 languages, which it doesn't say spoken word languages. It just probably means text, but I'm imagining it'll be dual audio.
Yeah. My best guess is, like, why would anybody get this other than the cheap price point? I mean, $2.99 is fairly cheap for...
I mean, that's cheaper than the PSN's version.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great price, and like I said, it's Here are the features. It's fully compatible with game controllers, which is key. Like I said, if you've got a game controller, then
Yeah,
that's
not
get
just
it, but if
several
not, no.
controllers, all of them.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah. New continue feature, unlock achievements with hard-fought battle milestones and available in 6 languages.
Yeah.
English, Japanese, German, French, Italian, and Spanish.
Yeah. The only thing is, don't they have a version of this on the Switch, Eric?
No,
Oh.
they haven't done anything on the Switch yet.
I would just wait for a Switch port, because if you're looking for portability,
Yeah, they'll probably do that eventually, because like it's easier to port a mobile game to Switch
yeah.
than it is the other way around.
In this game, like
What's
this, this is a classic.
Yeah,
this is a fantastic game.
It's a great game. Symphony
The
of Night
font
is
looks really weird though.
I-
But that's
I-
probably because it's a mobile game.
I would definitely put Symphony of the Night in my top 25 video games of all time. I don't think that's hyperbole. I think most people would put this game
Really
in the,
high. I agree.
yeah. All right, let's move on to something hopefully as good as Symphony of the Night, if I can find the story. That's the thing about RPGsite.net. They changed their like advertising so that all the advertisements are at the top, and you have to like scroll to get to the stories. Kind of bullshit. But anyways, NIS America to release Void TRLM. Void I don't even know how to fucking say this, Eric. Terrarium in the West this summer for Nintendo Switch and PS4. So it was previously released in Japan on January 23rd. Physical release will be available as a limited edition on NIS America's online store. NIS has a tendency to kind of do that, which is kind of cool. I don't know if I want to go over everything. Key features: Hope in a Cold World. From the creator of A Rose in the Twilight and HTOL NIQ, The Firefly Diary, this harrowing roguelike adventure combines cute visuals with a somber yet whimsical post-apocalyptic story. I don't know how they could combine those. Somber yet whimsical.
I'm guessing
stupid.
certain goofy things happen that
cut-
give you
yeah.
levity to the otherwise desolate
Yeah.
and bleak situation you find yourself in.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are sitting there around a campfire starving to death, and all of a sudden a clown walks up.
Yeah, exactly, and start selling funny jokes, and everybody's laughing as they pass out. And...
This is great.
Yeah, they're like crying like from starvation, and then they just start laughing, and then they just pass out and die. It's so stupid. All right, custom made caretake. Install various equipment. That's such a visual, man. I can't get over it. Knacks and parts you find on your expeditions to improve your ability to explore the wasteland and fight enemies while preventing threats to Toriko's health by feeding her, of course, curing over 15 possible diseases, no word on if the coronavirus is included, and building her various gadgets to make her life more comfortable in the wasteland. Mysteries of the Void. Choose your loadout wisely as you fight through procedurally generated levels in turn-based combat. No two adventures are alike when braving the toxic wastes. So there you go. Just a story about survival with some whimsical additions.
Hi, everybody. My name's Bonkers the Clown.
I'm here to tell you Phil jokes, and as like somebody kills over and dies. Okay.
Oh, everybody's dying around. You're all dying to survive.
I don't know if this type of game, like the timing is off on it, especially with the coronavirus stuff going around, and I don't know. If I was a publisher, I might delay this
Well, the game was in development before that was a thing.
Yeah,
so.
I understand that, Eric, but if I'm at NIS, I might delay this game just a little bit. You know, it's like what happened in 9/11. You know, there was a lot of songs.
They won't delay the digital release; they'll delay the physical release, though.
Yeah. Well, for reasons that they should, which we'll go over later. But all right, Eric, next story, please.
Next story. PC Engine Mini has been delayed because of said virus.
Yes, and the turbo graphics.
That's everywhere too, not just the U.S.
Yeah. I like the fact that all these retro consoles are coming out, but there's a big problem that we're gonna discuss, and it involves the
Because
coronavirus.
like every other company, you make your shit in China.
Yeah.
Well,
I
it's not
want
just China.
to.
It's a lot of countries that are just.
I
Like,
know, but like that's where the production for this is
Yeah.
specifically.
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
but yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
I'm not disagreeing with you on that. I'm just saying, like, it's not just production in China that's being halted. It's all around the world.
I think we should stop calling it the coronavirus and call it COVID-19 for reasons I'll talk about later.
I think
but
we should call it the Trump virus
yeah.
because
Well, I
You're
gotta
saying
give.
he somehow made it happen.
Yeah.
no, well, he's making it sort of happen, sort of making it spread in America with some of his actions.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. Break
It was
because
those fucking trade deals, wasn't it?
No, oh, yeah.
no,
That's
it's
why it's
definitely.
the Trump virus. No, it was he cut a lot of CDC funding and cut back on research and stuff.
I know that
Yeah,
much.
yeah, they were super close. Look, let's save this conversation for later because there's going to be plenty on the coronavirus. That's what we're going to be talking about later for sure. All right.
Corona, babe. Sorry.
All right, break.
I don't know why I was singing that.
Break your next.
Coming to his life in Silicon Era, Mega Dimension Neptunia 7 rated for Nintendo Switch in South Korea.
Yeah.
Well, you're probably not getting it anytime soon. Mega Dimension Neptunia 7 first released for PlayStation 4 in Japan in April 2015. I don't know why that's relevant. Then released in North America and Europe in February 20. Why is this even relevant? The game introduced a new battle system and a next form for each goddess. The story consists of 3 chapters, each with their own dimension, story, and Neptunia-esque title. The game also introduces the console patron unit Uzume Tenuboshi, aka Orange Heart.
Yeah, basically the Dreamcast.
Yeah.
So Tenuboshi is orange?
Yeah. Orange Heart.
But I will say that back to the previous article that I'm kind of glad that it's being delayed because I wouldn't be able to buy it right now anyway.
Yeah. All right. Anything else on this story, Break?
I'm getting bad pop-up from this article. I gotta close it.
All right, that's fine. Let's move on to the next story. I don't think there's much else to that. Anyways, it's gonna be a while before it comes stateside. So, all right. Next story comes to us also from Silicon Era.
I'm worried about the performance for Neptunia 7 on the Switch because, well, it might be better in better hands with a different company than the company that was used to do the port for Fairy Fencer F Dark Advent Force, because that was done by Ghostlight, and Ghostlight doesn't do good ports.
Yeah, Ghostlight's not very good.
So hopefully they got someone else doing it.
All right.
Okay. I'm having problems with Silicon Era websites.
Okay, we'll take it from here. Break. I know sometimes shit happens like that. So let's go to the next story from.
I mean, like, I don't
Break's
pass me
computer
yet.
has the COVID virus.
All right, next story comes to us also from
My
Silicon
computer
Era.
is- I'm gonna ring its neck virus. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Darius Cosmic Collection 2 brings back even more shmups this winter. You can never have enough shmups. Taito. I haven't heard that word in a long time. Taito has announced that they are making a sequel to Darius Cosmic Collection, tentatively titled Darius Cosmic Collection 2, which will release in winter 2020. No platforms have been announced yet, but I'm assuming all, up to and including the new ones.
No, it's just a Switch, probably, like the last one, Switch and PS4.
Yeah.
But the Cosmic Collection is coming to North America, but we only have a physical release so far, and only in the UK, strangely enough.
Did I hear your cat, Breakman? Did your cat
Yeah,
make an
like, I
appearance?
don't know why she cried. Like,
That was weird.
Are you all right?
Feed me!
She's like, feed me!
I think I surprised her.
Oh, I got you. She got scared.
I'm sorry, girl. I didn't mean to scare you.
Looks really cool.
Yeah, she was loud.
that was really funny. It's kind of fun. It looks fun, Eric. This would be something that I could play in small doses. You know, I'm not very good at shmups, but they're of all the games.
And depending on how like much of a freak for shmups you are, you might think that the first collection was garbage because most of the Darius games in the earlier days were garbage.
Gotcha.
Or at least if you were like one of those people. I mean, you might still enjoy Darius, but like most of the Darius games got better as they aged.
It looks fun.
Like
It does.
Darius Burst Chronicle Savior is probably the best iteration of Darius.
It looks good. It doesn't look bad, man. I was looking at the preview while we're.
I think the problem with most of these games is that they're incredibly punishing if you die. If you die, you lose all your power ups, and it's hard to recover from that.
Similar to Gradius, like where you would.
Well, no, Gradius is at least a little bit easier because it's easier to get more power ups soon than you could in Darius.
Yeah, I get it, but still, it's an apt analogy, Eric, because like in that game, like if you're unskilled like I am, and you happen to get all the upgrades and stuff, and then you're advancing, and it just gets harder and harder, and then you happen to like make one little flub up, and you're in the middle of this hard ass.
I think the collections do have save states, so if it worst comes to worst, you can save scum.
Yeah,
that's true. And then the bosses become impossible to beat. Without the without the said power ups.
Yep, I agree, Break. That's what I was gonna say. Like let's say you're in a hard level with the boss or something, and you happen to lose those power ups. It's really hard to beat those bosses, but luckily they still had the in Gradius you had that code where you get extra lives, but.
Well, and Gradius is always kind of, like Eric was saying, Gradius is always kind of about the power-ups. Like, they're plentiful in that game, but still, like, even losing some sucks in that game, because it takes, like, 5 or 6 power-ups for you to get your little orb. What is that thing called?
Well, and in thinking of Gradius, it's still a good analogy, because, like, if you... Like, it takes a while to build up that meter at the bottom to get the proper power-up, so, like, you can't just... get a power up.
I don't think Darius is as punishing as R-Type is, though.
No, R-Type is really tough. Fun, but really, really hard. But
I was surprised by how hard R-Type was the first time I played it.
Yeah, it's really tough. Commander Root's in chat. Welcome, Commander Root. I don't know if anybody else is in there. If anybody else in there, give me a shout out. I can't always see who's in there, so. All right, let's move on to the next story, Eric.
Next story is Yakuza is like a dragon. Sales have passed 400,000 units since launch.
That's
some people
excellent.
Earlier were saying that the series or the game didn't sell that well, but this sounds fine. It just means that this didn't sell as well as 6, which didn't sell as well as 5. Well, so it's selling a lot. It's just not selling as much as it probably could have.
And plus, this is the one where they went. That's a lot of units.
Especially since they did a genre shift.
Yeah, they switched it to an RPG, but here's the deal. I sounded like Joe Biden. RPG. I should slap myself right now. Because he always says, "Here's the deal." But anyways, 400,000 units only in Japan. That's a huge number.
On a platform that's basically dying in that country.
Oh yeah, the PS4 is starting to kind of die out over there.
PS4, selling a game on the PS4 in Japan was already a tough position to be in because people weren't buying PS4s in Japan for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm. Well, they know the new one.
People are gravitating towards that console.
It's because people in Japan, from what I've heard, are less and less inclined to buy consoles because of space issues, for one thing, and they are more on the go than we are.
Yeah,
as a public.
Yeah,
which is why mobile does so well there.
Yeah. And plus the Switch is a great system anyway, so it's a win-win for them over there. But 400,000 is not a bad number, especially just in Japan. I mean, we tout games that sell 1 million. You know what I mean?
Still don't have a release date for the West yet, but
yeah, of course it'll come later. It'll be late next year before we get it. I'm guessing.
Probably by the end of the year. I'm gonna assume.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so, Eric. Especially
I don't know. Maybe you're right because they still have Persona 5 Scramble to release.
Yeah. No, there's. I mean, and plus, we're underestimating the COVID-19 virus, man. I know I keep harping on it, but we're gonna talk about it later, and the effects are gonna be actually pretty devastating within the tech world and video game world, and we'll get to it. I promise. I know I've been teasing it all show, but we're definitely going to get to it.
No, so stop teasing it.
Yeah, I know. Just start talking about it. All right. That's a great number. 400,000 is a great number, and that'll only go up. It's not going to go down. So that's excellent.
If they're bragging about it, then they are pleased.
Yeah,
I mean, when
yeah,
they're
that's-
reporting it, they're like, yes, we
Yeah,
did
that's-
good. So
Yeah.
it's good.
It's a good number for sure. All right. Break. You still having problems, or you want me to do?
I'll do it. That's
Okay.
fine. Coming to us live from Silicon Era, DuckTales Remastered returns to digital storefronts. I didn't know it was gone from digital
Yeah.
storefronts.
No, we had a
Yeah, we
story on
talked
that.
about
Oh, we
it.
did?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I drank a lot. Capcom is bringing DuckTales
I
back.
ported to Switch, you cowards, and PS4.
The remake of the NES Classic was delisted on August 8, 2019. However, it wasn't that long ago either. However, you can't keep a good duck down, as DuckTales Remastered has appeared again on the eShop, Microsoft Store, PlayStation Store, and Steam, and is once again $14.99, and that is a fantastic price point for that game.
Yeah.
If it gets on sale, I'd take it because it's a great game. And DuckTales Remastered players get, well, you know what? It's kind of short, so I don't know if $14.99 might be a little bit much. I'd say $9.99.
Yeah, $9.99
DuckTales
would be fair. Yeah, I agree. That'd be fair.
Good.
It is really short.
I need to tell people that I actually won them a copy of the Wii U version through a giveaway on Twitter.
Okay.
Cool.
That's awesome.
So it basically, I'm just gonna sum up the story. It's a remake of the original NES DuckTales game. There you go. Voice act.
Can we get a sequel?
and stuff like
That's a
that.
great
More
great
of a-
summary. I like that summary.
Can we get a sequel to like fix the bad parts of DuckTales 2?
Yeah, exactly. DuckTales 3, where we fix everything DuckTales 2 sucked at. Yeah, that'd be a good tagline for that.
No, that'd be a sequel. I want a sequel to this where they just remake 2 but make it better.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
was okay. Like it wasn't.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, after the first one, you know.
Yeah, first one was great.
Well, I think the weakest part of that game though might have been the music though.
Mm.
When the
It's
first
just
one had
kind
really
of,
good music.
Yeah. All right, let's move on.
I do want a third game though that uses the new DuckTales show as a basis though.
Yeah, that would be cool.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's do the next story from Siliconera. Long Live the Queen and other visual novels heading to consoles. Ratalaika held its first Nintendo Direct-style visual novels showcase, revealing a number of former PC exclusives that will be heading to consoles. In total, 7 games were discussed, with Syrup and the Ultimate Suite available on multiple platforms. I can't even believe some of the
Yeah,
titles.
that's
of
out
these.
now. Share up in the Ultimate.
Yeah. And let's see, it's out right now, and titles like Long Live the Queen appearing later in 2020. Here are the descriptions. They have angels with scaly wings, blind men. Yeah, I know. Do you want to hear the
You know,
description?
that sounds like a metal cover.
It does, but let me read what it says about it. It says it's dragons are real and live in their own dimension. You're a human who will be acting as an ambassador. Oh, can I be a fucking dragon? Why do I gotta be?
So
Anyways.
you're a human who's acting as an ambassador, and you get to fuck one of these dragon girls.
That would
I
be
wanna-
that wouldn't be
I
bad.
want to be a dragon.
Yeah, I want to be a fucking
Shit.
dragon though. Blind man Keegan wants to be League of Evil villain, but first he has to try and make a name for himself and outwit 2 spies who are after him. 2 romance options. Why only 2? That's weird. Jisei, the first case
Probably not a very
HD.
long game. That's why.
Yeah, Jisei, the first case HD. In Jisei, an amnesiac with a supernatural ability to see a corpse's last moments must prove his innocence when he happens to be at a crime scene. It will come to the Nintendo Switch.
So it's like Shadow of Destiny, only you're finding how other people died, not yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Shadow of Destiny. I haven't heard that in a long time, Eric. That was a
I own
PS2.
it, but I haven't played it yet.
That was a PS2
I
game,
wonder
right?
if my computer can even play that game now.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. Long Live the Queen, a princess maker, lifelike simulation with visual novel elements. Players follow Elodie as she attempts to survive numerous attempts on her life and actually be crowned queen after her mother's untimely demise. That actually sounds kind of interesting.
I think that's been on Steam for a while.
Sounds good. I wouldn't mind playing that game. A Summer with the Shiba Inu. Players follow Sid, a Shiba Inu who left her home, as she returns 10 years later to confront truths of why she left and perhaps deal with the island's arena ranking system that determines each dog's worth. Now, that's interesting. You play as a dog. That's really cool.
That sounds like a better story than Dog Island, because Dog Island
wait.
was not good of a movie.
Yeah.
There's one where you get to be a dog,
Or
but
Isle of
the one with the
Dogs.
dragon, you have to be a person?
Exactly. Brakeman, you get +5 to intelligence on that one, man. All right. Syrup and the Ultimate Sweet. In this Yuri visual novel, Syrup is a candy alchemist who is trying to create the perfect concoction. Along the way, she discovers a candy golem named Gumdrop and has the opportunity to date some of the other characters. While cute, it contains mature and sometimes even dark content. So that one's available right now. Tales of Avorn, Seasons of the Wolf, an RPG with visual novel elements and two possible protagonists. Players follow twins named Shay or Althea as an encounter with a wolf sends them on a journey that will shape their lives and send them through different seasons. And there's a really lengthy trailer on every single one of them. I'm looking at the Ratalaika.
So I wonder if the Syrup game's coming to Switch soon then.
Yeah. The Shiba Inu game looks interesting to me. Actually, a lot of these visual novels actually look kind of good. So a lot of good stuff to look out for. The Shiba Inu one is fucking funny. It looks funny. It's sort of got like live action pictures is the best way that I can put it. And I don't know. It looks interesting. I might be interested in picking that up for sure.
The weird thing is, like, I think Ratalaika is actually a Russian indie publisher.
Weird. But yeah, a lot of.
Well, there's .emu, which is a French indie publisher, and they're publishing the Streets of Rage 4 game.
The RPG one looks really interesting. That's the one I talked about a little bit there, but they all look fairly interesting in their own right. Some for everybody there. If you like visual novels, that might be right up your alley. Eric is the visual novel king of RPGrinders, so maybe Eric will check out a couple of these and let us know.
Yeah, I can barely read, so it won't be me.
Well, I'm illiterate, so
That's because you're drunk most of the time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you drank a little less, you might be able to read Brakeman. So there you go. Yeah, I know. So reading is fundamental. Eric, you get the honor of the last story.
The last story is Bloodstain gets a randomizer mode.
Yeah, this is interesting, and I'll talk about this. It's actually,
among other things we could talk about with this. There was a whole update from the Kickstarter update post, but they are scrapping the roguelike mode that was planned for the game because it's too hard to implement. And instead, they're giving us a randomizer option because that's all the rage nowadays. Just randomizer runs. There already is an unofficial randomizer mod for the PC version of the game.
Yeah.
But them doing it elsewhere is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Officially.
I have a problem with this because they had a stretch goal where they promised people that you would get a roguelike. And if I was in that thing, I might be a little miffed because going from a roguelike to just a randomizer, I mean, that should just be something automatically put in the game, I would think. That's a stupid thing to do to replace. Like, if they would have gave somebody, like, I don't know, like a code for, like, a little bit more DLC, like a mission or something, that would have been...
I mean, a randomizer basically it makes the game a roguelike in a way, but...
yeah, I know, man, but it's... I don't know. Wyland saying that Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 for the PS4 is $9.99.
I think it might come down to the fact that when they were coming up with stretch goals, they conflated roguelike with randomizer.
I guess, man, but that just, I don't know, it's kind of a weird...
It's like maybe they didn't understand what a roguelike meant.
Yeah.
Which is entirely possible because he is Japanese.
Well, since Wyland brought up a good homie discount for everybody, why don't we do that?
I don't think so. Homie, don't play that.
Eric, you have an update on a couple of homie discounts.
The thing it doesn't mention here before you move on is that a couple new modes like the boss revenge mode, which is basically boss rush, and the Zangetsu mode are going to be coming soon.
Okay, that's cool. That's really cool. All right, Eric, you have a couple of homie discounts.
Yeah. From last week, we had the Sexy Girls bundle, but I don't even think I mentioned what games are part of this collection. But there's for $10 you can get Ultimate Boob Wars, Big Breast
Sweet.
versus Flat Chest.
I love it already. That's really
The
good.
free
Need to write this
friends.
title slower.
Yeah.
And Sweet Young Bride, which is lowly porn. Take that as you will. But
I don't know. What is that?
basically it's lowly porn.
Oh, I thought you said like lonely porn. I'm like,
Isn't that almost all porn? I mean, seriously.
I guess yeah.
I think this girl's younger than most the girls in these games though, so it's a very specific fetish.
Yeah.
But Secret Sorrow of the Siblings, so that sounds like incest.
Oh boy. I mean, I've seen some.
And then
What'd you say? Did you say you're in?
No, I said I've seen like you know those they're not they're it's like incest porn, but it's not really incest. It's just like, you know, they're acting like they're sisters or brother and sister.
Those taboo websites. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what
I
I'm
have
talking
no
about.
idea what you're talking about, Frank.
and then the last game is Dungeon of Corruption, which sounds like an RPG with probably tentacle stuff if you lose to monsters.
Yeah. I now these are all PC type games, right? Like
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish they weren't, because I might like these bundles seem kind of like cheap to me. You know, they're not that expensive, and you get like 4 or 5 basically hentai games, I'm guessing. So there you go. Anything
But
else,
if
Eric?
you're into guys, there's also a yaoi bundle that's a manga based. It's not a game, so you could play that on your capable device. Let's see what formats they're in, but it says here it doesn't say which formats, but I'm guessing it's just like the other manga bundles they've done where you get a PDF or a Kindle thing. But
like
the names of these titles, yaoi titles are pretty weird, but like, you haven't seen the best of me. Absolute If You Don't Obey Me Obedience. Warm Coffee. My Lucky Star, A Love Story Between My Boss and I. Cases and Then Some. Between My Trainee and I, Another Love Story.
I like the female ones better, man. Like, I'm looking at Ultimate Boob Wars. Like that already, you know, I might be in.
Did you read the story? Like, I had to look up the story.
Here's the
Big
thing with
boobs.
yaoi. Yaoi is not
Bulging with
marketed.
miracles.
Yaoi isn't marketed toward gay men. It's marketed towards women, actually.
Yeah.
They like watching gay men do gay things.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Break. What were you saying?
Yeah,
I think my biggest problem with yaoi though isn't the fact that I don't hate the fact that gay people are doing shit. That's cool. But most of these characters are pretty effeminate, or there's always top and a bottom. It's pretty tropey.
Yeah, I mean, what can you expect from this line of games? Break or Eric? Break. What were you saying?
These aren't games. These are manga. You
okay.
read these.
Yeah, whatever. Here, let's talk about what's really important. The story of Boob Wars.
Okay.
Big boobs bulging with miracles. Flat chests, the promises of infinite possibility. This
It is absolute.
content of flat
It's one of the trashiest hentai games ever.
A marvelous land full of bountiful nature, graceful landscapism, and heart-pounding secrets. The continent is divided down the middle into 2 kingdoms. In the western mountains lies the kingdom of Pie Quartz, ruled by the queen of the Big Breast tribe.
The Big Breast
The eastern
tribe.
flatlands is the kingdom of Serpentine, ruled by the Flat Chest tribe's queen. There's so much more to this. I can't.
I can't even put it on the screen because there's like pictures of nudity, and I don't want to get banned by Twitch. That'd be like the worst thing ever to happen to RPGrinders. But
apparently, Ultimate Boob Wars is much better than the first game, but just Boob Wars.
Oh yeah, because you know, I wonder what the next one is gonna be like. The Ultimate.
It is a
Boob Wars?
card battle game, so I have to let you know.
Oh shit! Then I'm out. Unless I watch somebody play it, then I might be okay.
Although
with
I
that.
think Ultimate Boob Wars isn't strictly a card game.
Yeah. Secret sorrow of the sibling, man. Jesus Christ. Like, what what can I say about that, man? You guys got to look this up.
Immoral Sisters. That's what it reminds me of.
Oh, I saw Immoral Sisters, actually. Eric, have you seen that?
Yeah, I own it.
Oh, shit. I liked it. I thought it was actually
I
pretty
picked
good.
it up at buybacks when buybacks was actually still available in Menor. It closed down quite a while ago.
Yeah.
I think most of them did because like the one in and Erie is closed too.
Yeah. Wyland says, I guess if you want to try MK11, they're doing a free weekend for it. So that's a nice little tidbit. Yeah. I saw that earlier. I was going to mention it, but I totally forgot about it. Wyland, thanks for bringing it back to my attention. But
I forgot the cost of that Yaoi bundle for those who might be interested. Let's see.
Yeah, it's only $4.99. I mean, that's not bad if you're into that.
Well, yeah, for manga, I guess $5 is not bad.
No, if you're into that, then. But the women one is $9.99. Still not bad. You get 5 games, I guess. So it's all on indiegala.com/sexygirlgames bundle.
Yeah, just go to the game bundle section. They'll be there.
Yeah.
Why can't that just come to Xbox? It'd be so much easier.
Yeah, I know, man, but
try to convince the hardware platform holders that.
I know. Well,
did adults actually play their video games now?
Yeah, I know.
No.
How dare I?
No, kids are the ones who have all the money,
deal with the media shitstorm that would happen if they allowed AO
that
games.
media shitstorm would be a lot of free press for them, and that would mean, I mean, they would, yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, with businesses, they tend to be conservative, and they don't, so they're risk adverse.
Yeah, well, I don't think it would be a risk at all. I think actually they would sell a shit ton. They would sell more than they do on PC.
It's kind of like the animation industry. It's like, yeah, they're cartoons, but it's also porn, and porn does well by itself. So why don't you treat it like that?
I guess, but they don't.
It's like this is part of the reason why the anime industry in the West doesn't give top billing for movies.
Yeah,
because people still think it's.
I think that's going to slowly.
I
think that's going to slowly change, Eric, because I saw the numbers for My Hero Academia here. It broke top 5.
Well, it might be easier now that movies like Parasite can win Oscars.
Yeah, that's true too.
So it means that at least Hollywood's paying more attention to other countries.
There are so many great foreign movies and games, and it's unbelievable to me that they don't do better here. But anyways, Breakman, do we have anything in your section? Should I play your music?
No.
Oh, poor Breakman. Send Breakman questions. # Dear Breakman at RPGrinders on Twitter, and we will get to each and every one of them.
No, how can we save you if you don't tweet us?
I know. Breakman's trying to save the world one tweet at a time.
Exactly.
Guys and gals. So give him something to talk about, you know. All right, Let's move on to...
Inquiring minds want to know.
Inquiring minds want to know what you've been playing, Break.
Well, the mobile games as usual, South Park, and Final Fantasy Record Keeper, which I realize now I've been playing for about 5 years because it's the 5th anniversary.
Yep, you've been playing it a long time, man.
Have you played Brave Exvius at all?
What's that?
The Brave Exvius game. Have you played that?
No.
Or that or was that Crystal Legend game? Wasn't there like a Crystal Legend 2? Did you play that?
I don't remember playing anything like that. No.
It's like Final Fantasy Legend, or I don't know. It's called Legend. But there already is a Final Fantasy Legend, so it's very confusing.
What else?
So anyway, they hit their 5th year anniversary, which I guess is cool because they're like, here's a bunch of free stuff and stuff like that. But it's just
that's cool.
It's so weird to have been playing this game for 5 years. Like,
yeah, I've been playing MPQ
Did you play that Dragon Quest game yet?
No.
I've been playing MPQ for as long as you've been playing Record Keeper. It seems like, man. I didn't get a chance to play much. I just played a little MPQ and a tiny bit of Shadow of Mordor. I'm just not feeling Shadow of Mordor at all. It's
still struggling with it.
I'm really struggling, Break. You know what I should do? I should share play like on YouTube and see what the fuck I'm doing wrong with Shadow of Mordor, because It's like aimless. It's like every fucking open world game I ever play, I have no idea what I'm supposed to do. Like it throws you into the middle of a bunch of orcs, and I'm just like getting my ass kicked. And if I don't get my ass kicked, I don't know where I'm going, even though there's a fucking map. And it just I don't know. There's it's just something about that game that's just not clicking, and it should, because I fucking love Lord of the Rings and that whole epic fantasy shit. I mean, I love that stuff. I mean, obviously, but Shadow Mordor is just not doing it for me. So that's all I've been. I've had a busy week actually. I'll talk about some in a little bit. Eric, what have you been playing?
I've been playing more of Seven Scarlet, just getting through that at work. Other than that, I got through Yakuza 4 and now moved on to 5.
How do you
Not got very far in that.
How in the fucking hell do you beat those games so quick, Eric? Do you just run through them, or what? Like what?
Yeah, I basically forego writing reviews to get done with games so we can review them later. Especially since I haven't been in the mood to write anything since I've been sick and recovering.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, Eric. All right, what have you been playing?
And plus I have to get through them all because I don't think it's gonna happen, but I might get code for Persona 5 Royal, and that happens, I'm gonna need time for that.
So. Yeah.
But what were you saying? I forget.
What have you been playing, Eric?
That's it, really.
Okay, all right. So not a lot this week. All right, let's move on. Eric's got a couple.
I've been watching more than I have been playing it.
Well, you haven't been feeling the greatest, Eric, so it's totally understandable. I'm actually think I'm getting sick too. So let's move on, Eric, to your reviews.
I know the coronavirus has become cyber, now it's affecting people through the radio waves.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I did read earlier today that there was one suspected case in Colorado.
2. It's 2 now.
Oh, it's now 2, Frank?
Yeah, and I'll talk about
Frank's
it because.
So you're saying you've infected Bernie now too?
How dare you? You're exiled, you son of a bitch. Where's Freak 5 when I need him? I need more exhalation. Wyland, say something so I can exile you, you son of a bitch. I know you're in chat.
I wonder if MXT got the coronavirus.
No, he probably is the coronavirus. He's probably the one spreading all that shit. But anyways, what have you been playing, Eric? Did you finish? Or I'm sorry, your reviews.
Yeah. Ni no Kuni, which is the movie, not the game.
Yeah.
And this is it's an isekai story, just like the game, but I've seen better isekai stories.
Okay.
And it's about 2 high schoolers who both have a shared love interest. They both like the same girl, but during she gets basically attacked by somebody, and one of them saves the other's life, and this person's also in a wheelchair, by the way. But before he could, they basically find her and try to get her to a hospital, but they almost end up in a car accident, and that's when they get transported to the other world, and they find out that his injuries have been healed and he can walk now. But they get separated, and some evil dude tries to convince the other that the only way to save his girlfriend's life is to kill the other girl that looks like her in this world. And then they have a big old fight, basically. And that's okay,
and Wyland and Breakman are exiled. And
I'm gonna give this movie, I guess, a 5.5.
Yeah, okay.
Just slightly above average.
Yeah, no, that's a fair rating. I that's why I like doing it out of 10, because you can give it like an average score, above average, below average, and anywhere in between. But that's cool. Like I said, Wyland and Breakman are exiled, and they are. Let's see. This is gonna be like the first week since Freak hasn't shown up that Freak hasn't gotten the Exile Championship. So far, Breakman, you're the Exile Champion of the week. So just let you know.
Nice.
Yep. All right. Your other review, Eric.
My other review is from My Hero Academia, Heroes Rising, which is the second movie. These movies are non-canonical, but the movie does feel like if it was canonical, it would be a good way to end the series, or at least end the first series, which would lead into the second series. But because like the ending almost has a finality to it. I mean, they do cop out and make the consequences of the character's actions not permanent, but it would have been nice if they ended it there. But they obviously want to make more movies. They can't do that. Even though it's like each movie seems to be somewhat disconnected from each other so far, because there's no overlap in referencing previous film in this movie. But it does seem to take place a little further into the future where the anime currently is right now, because they acknowledge some of the things that were recently going on in the last major half of the arc. But it's a much better implementation of ideas from the previous film. But the twist here is like, instead of them not being able to use their abilities since they don't have their provisional hero licenses, they have them now. So they actually been commissioned to this island to do hero work, and like, so they set up a temporary agency where they can get calls and stuff.
Okay.
And that's when the big villains show up, and it is kind of a rehash of the season 3's finale, but it's still pretty decent.
Okay. So what are you giving it?
I'm gonna give it a 9.5.
9.5. That's excellent, Eric. Almost perfect. Wyland's exiled again. He knows why. And I got the big exile.
How about 100 years from now we find that Frank Branches is the carrier of the coronavirus because he got sick one time back in Agent China or something.
How dare you? How dare you pin that on me, Eric? That's totally unfair. Totally unfair. Maybe not. I don't know. It could or could not be true.
I thought we had agreed it was MXC's fault.
Yeah,
he got sick. He sneezed in a jar, and it basically just sat there sealed. Then it got leaked out somehow.
How dare you, man?
Years later.
How dare you? How dare you, Eric?
A millennia later.
How dare you? How dare you, disparage me in such manner? Does he mute the mic? Or God damn it! You guys are incorrigible,
Does he
man.
confuse his wife with his sister?
Oh boy. How dare you? I'm not sniffing my monitor break, man. You son of a bitch! Jesus Christ.
Whatever, Frank Biden.
On that note, man, I think we need to definitely move on to this. This or this. Highscapade. Okay, break. Do you have a highscapade this week?
Nope.
All right, Eric, you?
I guess you could say Biden just completely fucking up on camera. It'd be a high escapade.
Well, that's a constant. I feel bad talking about that, Eric, because I really feel that he either has...
Yeah, I know, it's serious, but at the same time, it's like, why'd they even let him go on?
I don't know, man. It's really weird. The contrast between him and Bernie is, it couldn't be, so different. They're both about the same age, but one is in definite cognitive decline, and the other one is brilliant, and I don't understand what...
He caught a cup that was about to fall over.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. But anyways, I got a highscapade this week, guys, and it involves Bernie and her mammogram. This is the... All right, guys, I'm gonna tell you this story.
Hold on, I'm closing my eyes.
How dare you, man? I got to tell you guys this story, and I don't know if I'm going to do it justice, but anyways, Bernie had an appointment for a mammogram, and she's never had a mammogram because she's never had really decent insurance up until now. So, she was just kind of wondering about it, and I have a limited knowledge, just basic knowledge of stuff like that, and she asked me, she's like, she's like, well, what do they do in a mammogram? And I'm like, kind of explaining her what I know, based on my very limited knowledge. I was like, well, they take your breasts and they kind of pull them and put them into this like X-ray machine, and it depends on if it's a 2D or 3D X-ray and all this
they
stuff.
See if you have a tumor or cancer.
Yeah. Basically, it's all it is. They take a picture of your boobs, and they give you the results, and they're either good or bad depending on what they find out based on what a doctor sees. Because, if you're a regular person and you're looking at a mammogram, you wouldn't know shit. You wouldn't know if there. You would see things that you would think are bad, and or stuff that's bad that seems good, and you have no clue unless you're a doctor, right, or have some training in that department.
Is this a lump I should worry about, or is it just a mosquito bite?
No. She has no lumps, nothing like that. She just, women have to do it at a certain age. They have to go get mammograms, just like, guys are supposed to get tested for prostate cancer and colon cancer, and
I haven't.
Well, I don't think you're old enough just yet, Eric, but trust me, you'll get
maybe
there.
Once I get to 40.
Yeah. So anyway, we were just talking about it, and she's like, so do they just do they just take a picture of one boob and then you have to make another appointment? And I almost lost it because I'm like,
no.
How? What are they gonna? Yeah, and I told her, I was like, yeah, they're gonna schedule your right breast for the 3rd, and then they're gonna schedule your left breast for the 10th.
You need to go here one day.
So I thought it was the funniest thing. I just started laughing, and she had no clue. But then she started laughing because of the absurdity of it.
Was she high when she asked this though?
I'm not gonna confirm or deny that, Eric. I most likely not, because like she doesn't. If she's working, she doesn't smoke at all or do any edibles or anything like that. Like, I'm the one that's always fucking smoking and doing edibles and everything else, except on Fridays. You guys get me at my least high, which is I guess a privilege. I don't know. So I just thought it was a funny little story to share with y'all. Let's move on to our stinkos.
What is it?
Stinko of the week.
You guys are stupid in chat talking about Biden, Brakeman, and Wyland. You guys are dumb. All right, let's do our stinkos, Break. I know you got a list of them.
Yeah, let me see here. If people haven't heard, well, let me give you a little story to antagonizing people on Twitter. I've been doing this week, I guess. Not really a story of just Trump supporters, just going after him because this is ridiculous, and of course the politicians, all the bullshit. Well, I don't know how much longer I'm gonna be able to do that because Twitter was bought by a majority share of Twitter was bought by a Trump supporter.
Yeah, censorship's gonna be in full force, man. You gotta. You know how many times I've been like shadow banned and fucking suspended on Twitter, Breakman. Like anytime I say anything about Trump, like I seem to get fucking banned, and it's really fucking annoying. It's weird, and there's not much anybody can fucking do about it. It's just, it is what it is. So here's my advice, Breakman, which I know you're not really asking, but I'm gonna give it anyways. Say whatever the fuck you want to say on Twitter, just do or say any fucking thing you want, and if you happen to get suspended, you happen to get banned, then so fucking be it. So
you're telling me not to do anything differently?
Yeah, exactly. Don't do anything different than what you're doing right now, man. That's the long and skinny of the whole
I
thing.
wanted to do a review of Castlevania Season 3, but I didn't finish it yet.
Oh, I haven't even started it yet.
Yeah, neither have I, man. I haven't started that.
I also wanted to review High Score Girl Season 1, but I mind you, well, just save that until Season 2 is out, so I can watch both those.
Yeah. So yeah, Breakman.
Yeah.
Continue.
Conservatives have been complaining. Especially Trump, like how they're all censored and everything else. Even though Trump's never censored, he can say whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah.
Obviously, he complains about Twitter's biased against conservatives and whatever. No, it's biased against people who say criminal type things and threaten people and shit like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know,
I've actually complained quite a bit about Trump for legit things on Twitter that any normal person would get banned for, Breakman, and it never gets anywhere. Like it's even before that dude bought the majority of Twitter.
Yeah.
Like Jack wasn't doing anything. He was doing jack shit on Twitter to prevent bullshit. So it's
But
nothing
they will
new.
They will be actively. Once he gets, like he's trying to oust Jack and then get full control, and once he does, then he's gonna start censoring any like anti-Trump stuff.
And you know what's funny? Jack is actually very conservative. That motherfucker's more conservative than almost anybody. So it's like, he's just, I mean, that whole thing is just awful anyways, Break, so.
Yeah.
Anything else you got, Break?
Yes, I have a list. Let me see here. This weekend is my annual bitch at daylight savings time weekend.
Oh, Jesus Christ,
biannual.
man.
I do it twice a year.
Yeah.
We're springing forward, which means you lose an hour, which it means basically the sun stays out later, which I like. I like what daylight savings time does because it's sun's out later. I like that.
I don't. I hate it, but go ahead.
But
I hate changing the clocks is what I hate.
Yeah, like the changing of the time is absolutely ridiculous. Like even just stay with one. Either we stay with the forward, or and when it comes to fallback, next time we just say no, or next time we fall back and then we just stay there. Either way, like this stupid nonsense of changing an hour every year is stupid.
It used to serve a purpose, Break.
Yeah,
it really did. It used to like allow like farmers like to have an extra hour of daylight so that they could tend to their crops a little bit better and things would work a little bit smoother, and there's other reasons too, like people like sunlight. I don't know why. I fucking hate the sun. I'd be happy indoors.
Well, you're a vampire.
I'm a vampire, and I would be happy just staying as is, but I hate the time change. I mean, I don't think anybody really likes that time change at all. Like, I really don't.
The only country that does it, too. It's like...
Yeah. It's just, it's a uniquely American thing, and I think we need to look at some of those traditions and just fucking get rid of them.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that we do that's based on old thoughts and old ways of life. Like for instance, like lifetime appointments to the Supreme Court. That was designed back when our lifespan was like 50 years.
Yeah.
Like they had no idea that people were going to live into their 80s.
Yeah.
When they thought of lifetime membership.
I agree.
Like somebody living into their 80s was completely unheard of.
Well, no, yeah. I mean, what was it? The back in the cowboy days, like in the 1800s, like the life expectancy was what, 40, 50 years old?
Right.
Like, I agree, Break. It's just old-timey bullshit, What else you got, Break?
Things that need to update. Oh, let me see here. We're going to talk about the coronavirus. I'll just go ahead and skip that one because we'll get to it.
Okay.
And the other one, I'll get to it. We'll get back to it. Just go ahead.
Okay. Eric, your stinkos.
I don't have anything listed, but I guess I'm continuing to be concerned about Bernie's chances because he seems to be sabotaging himself again.
Okay, explain, Eric.
I don't know if anybody watched the Jimmy Dore show, but basically he's doing the same goddamn thing Obama did by trying to pretend that he's friends with the Republican Party. Or in this case, it's Biden, but Biden's basically a Republican anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. And
how he called Biden his old friend, and then he gets along with him, and despite the fact that Biden's basically done everything to undermine him.
Yeah, no, I understand the sentiment for sure, and it's actually true. I wish Bernie would stop with the civility, but that's not who Bernie...
Yeah, it's like civility is bullshit, because you can't be civil with someone who isn't going to do the same.
Yeah, no, I tend to agree.
And not only that,
but it makes you look like you're a doormat, because people will walk all over you when you're nice. Or they'll just not listen to you.
Yeah.
They'll pay attention to you when you're disruptive and incendiary.
Yeah.
Whoever wins is going to go up against the most vile, despicable human being on this planet. Well, I shouldn't say that because Kim Jong-un's still alive and Putin's still alive. But, in this country, the most despicable human being.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Like, this is the thing.
They're going to go up against somebody who's not normal and who's not going to play by any rules. So they've
Well,
got to be tough.
I actually think that Bernie is the best equipped to handle Trump.
I think he's tougher than Biden.
He's way tougher than Biden, man. Biden's all mouth.
If it isn't Bernie making mistakes, it's his staff.
No.
His advisory staff is kind of loopy sometimes.
I disagree with that. I think his staff is actually really brilliant, man. Like literally brilliant.
At least they're not nearly as bad as Elizabeth Warren's, because that's what ruined her campaign. They weren't good enough.
Yeah. Bernie's still got a shot at this. I know he's behind. I have no idea how Biden came out as Super Tuesday with a delegate lead, but it's very slim.
In Virginia, what the hell? All the black people wanted to vote for Biden.
Here's the thing.
And a lot of California wanted to vote for Biden, apparently.
Yeah, but here's the no. Actually, the vast majority of Californians voted for Bernie. Man, he.
Well, at least when the results were early, that's what it seemed like.
Yeah, yeah. Here's the thing. I agree partially with you, Eric. Bernie's got a big problem, and it's not Biden, because Biden can be easily beat. Biden is way weaker than even Hillary Clinton, and if you look at 2016 election compared to this election, Bernie's in better shape than he was last election. After Super Tuesday, Hillary almost no. If you look at it objectively, Eric.
No, I say no doubt about that.
Yeah, he's in way better shape, because after Super Tuesday last election cycle in 2016, Bernie was behind by I think it was like 200, almost 200 delegates, which is almost insurmountable. But he stayed in because he still had a shot. This time he's behind. I think when it's all said and done, they're going to be basically tied. Biden or Bernie might have the delegate lead. Most likely Biden by very, very few, because they refuse to give all the delegates in Colorado and in places like California, which California
I think it's dumb that there's got to be a Democratic nomination and a Republican nomination. Why can't all three of them run?
Yeah.
And whoever gets the most votes there wins.
Yeah, here's the thing. I think Bernie's going to win. And I'll tell you why. Not just because of my rosy view of politics or anything like that. You have...
Well, I'm hoping Biden gets declared unfit for presidency and he has to drop out.
No, they wouldn't even do that anyways. That's the guy that they put all the establishment behind, Eric. They put all their marbles in the old Biden basket. And I know Bernie's just as old, if not a little bit older than Biden, but the cognitive decline in Biden is very apparent. Anytime I've ever seen Bernie talk, he's like, Bernie is like the sharp grandfather or great-grandfather that's 80, 90 years old, 100 years old, and still as sharp as a tack. You know what I'm talking about. Everybody knows that person in their family, or they know somebody that is well into their 80s.
He plays Tetris or something.
The guy is sharp. He's super fit. I know he had a quote-unquote heart attack, but the type of heart attack that Bernie had was like I guess the best type of heart attack you could possibly have, and they didn't have to do open heart surgery. He had one stent put in one of his arteries, which is a procedure that even somebody like Michael Bloomberg had, and he had 2 stents put in. Michael Bloomberg is fine. Bernie is fine. Bernie's the man. He's going to fucking beat Biden. Because think about this, guys. All right. He had the entire establishment with him. It took Amy Klobuchar and Buttigieg dropping out and Biden absorbing all of those votes, which I don't know how he managed to do it. I think there's still some election fuckery about, but I'm not going to go there until I know more facts about that. But he's going to win. If you have
I just sent in my absentee so I can get that mailed off, and hopefully it comes back so I can get that mailed off. And
yeah, that would be good. That would be good. All the help you can get, for sure. Because, I mean, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Super Tuesday was a disaster for Bernie. And I
still think Ohio's going to lose. Bernie's not going to get Ohio. That's why
I think he is going to get Ohio.
I mean, I'd
Eric.
be very pleased and surprised, but Ohio is Ohio.
Yeah, Ohio is from what I gather, Ohio is fairly conservative. But the cities, like in particular where Breakman is, Cincinnati and Columbus and Cleveland and places like that are very, very liberal.
Toledo.
But here's the thing, that this is the thing that I think Bernie can actually get those Trump supporters to come over and vote for him. That's the big thing. He can get those centrist, middle of the road, kind of left Democrats to vote for him as well. It was super perplexing to me that on Super Tuesday Biden won. It came out of left fucking field. It was weird, and all that momentum and all that bullshit ended up costing Bernie Super Tuesday. But even after all of that, they're tied. So going forward, there's going to be at least 2 more debates. One-on-one, it's going to be Bernie versus Biden. And you guys tell me, who do you think is going to come out of those debates on top? And who has the most chance to influence those undecided voters and those independent voters and the people that don't vote? Who's going to get excited to vote for Biden? Who was excited to vote for Biden even on Super Tuesday? Nobody. Nobody was excited for it. There's only
Tulsi even still in the race. That's what I want to know.
Who?
Tulsi.
She is, but there was some bullshit with that too because she ended up getting delegates. She hasn't dropped out, and the DNC changed the rules so that she couldn't be on the debate stage.
She got on the debates, but they're like no.
Yeah, and it's stupid. It's undemocratic.
There's misogyny going on there.
Yeah, there's some definite bullshit.
Just like with Warren.
Yeah, it's so stupid. But I think Bernie's going to come out on top. I think in the end, I think everything that's going against Bernie is actually going to hurt the establishment because, I mean, thinking about it, I don't know if you guys have seen CNN or MSNBC. Every single time they talk about Bernie, they talk about him in a negative light. Don't you think people get tired of hearing that and can see through that at some point? And here's the thing. The people that voted for Biden on Super Tuesday haven't heard the guy fucking speak for a year. I guarantee those people have not heard Biden speak in a long time. And they have these memories of Biden when he was Obama, so they kind of associate him with Obama.
Which, like 8 years ago when he wasn't.
Yeah, and,
he was like 70.
He rarely talked back then. So when you see him on the debate stage against Bernie Sanders and he starts talking about corn pop and his fucking hairy legs and all that type of bullshit, watch how Bernie dismantles him. And I'm telling you, it's going to take is a one-on-one debate with Bernie and Biden to see who the true champion of progressives is and the true champion of the Democratic Party. And it's fucking Bernie Sanders. And I know I sound like a fucking walking sticker, but I don't care. I've followed Bernie for how many years now, and he's never changed. It's been the same message throughout, which if you talk to any politician, one day they'll say one thing, the next day they'll say another. And I'll give you a perfect example. Pete Buttigieg.
Unless you're Warren, which you're uncommitted, because I guess with Warren, her problem was that she didn't want to lay out her cards too early, so people couldn't use things against her.
No, the problem with Elizabeth Warren is she waffled on Medicare for All. That was her downfall. She was a champion of Medicare for All until she had to differentiate herself from Bernie, and then she backed off of it and said that I won't fight for it until 3 years into my tenure. Once she said that, it was over for Warren. I mean,
you want to know what Warren's downfall was?
Go ahead.
She.
Well, that too. I mean, she's a woman.
I'm betting that the establishment didn't like the idea of a woman being president.
No, the establishment actually cozied up to Warren, and that's why she changed her stance on a lot of things. Like the one that really irked me was the super PAC thing. She wasn't taking super PAC money until she started sucking at the polls, and then all of a sudden she changed her tune. And this is Warren's pattern. She lies. She fucking lies. Look, let me tell you something, guys, about Elizabeth Warren, okay? I have a huge problem with her because
there's a lot of LGBTQ people that I was like, Like, they were like, Warren was my first choice. Why was she your first choice?
Yeah, well, I mean, that aside,
Sure, she might have had progressive ideas, but she didn't really stand behind them.
No, that's right. That's exactly right.
She only went with them because she thought that'd be a good fit for her because that she could get that vote.
I've never liked Warren, and I'll tell you guys why. I've never really talked about Warren on here because I didn't want to be painted as a fucking sexist and all this.
Well, it's too late.
I know. But here's the thing about Warren, all right? Anytime, I liken it to stolen valor, right? Do you guys like people that steal valor? In other words, somebody that pretends that they were in the military or pretend that they got Medal of Honor or, Purple Heart or that's stolen valor, right?
What did you hear? I didn't tell anybody about that.
Here's the thing, though. Elizabeth Warren, a long time ago, when she applied to be I believe a professor at Harvard, pretended that she was a Native American. Now, people on the surface might not think that's a big deal, but I want you to think about something. Let's say you were Native American, right? And you were applying to Harvard at the same time Elizabeth Warren did. And it came down to two people, Elizabeth Warren and an actual Native American. And Elizabeth Warren got the job and she didn't. All right? That is a huge problem. And that's a huge problem that everybody should be upset at because it's absolute, utter horseshit. Minorities in this country have it a little bit harder than Caucasians in this country. There's a thing called white privilege. We've talked about it on this show. I don't want to alienate any of my white listeners because I love everybody.
I'm sorry.
I don't want to alienate anybody. I don't want to seem like I'm just a minority.
Hey, I don't care about my whiteness. I can't help it that I was born this way.
No, I understand, and I'm not trying to be anti-white at all.
Liar.
Yeah, I love people, and I look. Hey, Breakman, I'll have you know, Breakman. Breakman, I will have you know that all my friends are white. Okay? He's like,
AKA Frank's the whitest Mexican you've ever known.
Okay, here's the thing though. But just think about it.
I'm sorry, I mute myself. Damn it, I said I would.
I just want you to think about it just for one quick second. If you're in a position where you're already disadvantaged, right? And I think we can all agree that black people, brown people, Asian people to a certain extent, and Native Americans have had it fairly difficult in this country for the past, 100 years at least, even more?
100.
I mean, as long as this country's been in existence, right? Especially black people, right? I mean, I can make the argument that brown people have been treated every bit as bad as brown people or black people, but I don't want to go down that road. I'm just talking in generality. Let's say
I think it's the bad thing when people start comparing who's got it worse. Like
no,
when,
I agree.
When people
That's
are discriminated against. Like
it's bad. It's all bad.
Uniting.
You're
together,
right.
Like,
You're right. It's all bad, every bit of it. But here's the point I'm trying to illustrate.
no, I wasn't trying to say you were doing that.
No, I know.
I didn't
But
that.
but here's the thing, and poor people can be in that group too. All right, so that includes all of us.
Sweet, I'm in.
Yeah,
Jews,
Asians. Disabled. I said Asians. Okay, you get the idea. But let's say you're one of those underrepresented groups, especially Native American. Let's say, for instance, Eric is Native American and Breakman's a white guy, and they both go apply for the job, and they both put on their application that they're Native American without having to prove heritage. And all things being equal, they have an interview, and you go into an interview, and Breakman, white as snow, goes into that interview, has a good interview, and Eric, as a Native American, brown skin, goes into that same interview, has a great interview, and they choose Breakman.
And they give the lame excuse because he's more qualified. And bullshit.
Yeah,
You're both
it's
equally
horseshit.
qualified.
It's all horseshit.
Well, to be fair, I did seduce the interviewer.
Well, did he have big boobs?
Sucky $5.
Did you offer the $5 Western grip? Break?
No, I was seducing. Like, it was free. Like, Jesus. Charge him.
Okay, so that's what.
$5. I suck your dick.
Yeah. Okay, I wouldn't go that far.
That's from Don't Be a Menace.
Yeah. Here's the thing, guys. Like, can you guys visualize that? How shitty it is, right? To me, it's akin to stolen valor. If you put on your resume that you're Native American and you're not, then you're full of fucking shit. And if anybody finds out, you should be fucking
That reminds me of that crazy woman that pretended to be black.
Yeah, no. Elizabeth Warren pretended to be Native American. That's the whole point I'm trying to make. Once she did that, and once I found out she did that, and they had a copy of her application at Harvard, there's no way, man. No way.
That's why I'm specifically reflexive about people like Zinnia wanting Warren as their first choice. It's like, that should have sunk it for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Apparently you're. It's kind of like pro-lifers. It's like their values of pro-life are such that they're willing to overlook things.
Yeah. All right. So Super Tuesday sucked for me. That's my stinko. And I listed Trump sucks at life with the coronavirus, but I'm going to move that to our free for all. Breakman, did you have any more stinkos?
Are we getting to the Sweetos yet?
We're going to get into Sweetos right about now.
Sweeto of the week.
All right, Breakman, you're up. Your Sweeto of the week.
Oh, my Sweeto of the week was earlier this week. I heard the greatest news ever that the greatest band in the world is coming to Cincinnati.
Rage Against the Machine?
No.
I just want to say one more thing.
Who?
What are you saying there?
Tenacious D.
Yes.
But,
Tenacious D. They're coming to Cincinnati?
But apparently Break want to know what I want to say. But basically that I'm 1% Jewish and I'm not going to try to put I'm a Jew on some application.
Yeah. No,
like,
it to me, it's just akin to kind of stolen valor is the best way that I can put it. I think it's atrocious, and I think, think about Elizabeth Warren versus Trump. You don't think he would have said that to her on a debate stage? Like, she would have been killed on the debate stage by Trump. Just like if Biden gets it, Biden's going to be trounced on that stage, man. I can just see the Burisma talk, the Hunter Biden shit. Like, Biden has zero shot of beating Trump. Zero shot.
Yeah, it'd be kind of funny if Biden tried to claim he was 1% toaster.
Yeah. All right, Breakman. So the Tenacious D is coming to Cincy.
His mental state right now reminds me of Homestar from Homestar Runner.
Yeah, for sure.
I was born out of a can of coffee.
All right, so Breakman, Tenacious D, you going?
Oh, see, that's why I said I hit a list of stinkos, because this isn't a fucking sweeto. This is a stinko.
Uh-oh.
I was going to go.
But the tickets.
Then, I got to go through Ticketmaster.
Yes.
$72 tickets for 2
Why don't we just stop using Ticketmaster? I think that's the
You can't.
lesson.
You can't.
I can't.
That's
Fucking
the thing.
Ticketmaster. But, I mean,
Monopolies.
Still,
Fuck them.
$72 I think is too fucking much for one ticket to see a show to begin with, but plus the Ticketmaster prices, it was $185.
Oof.
Two tickets.
That's better than Guns N' Roses, $250 a ticket.
That's ridiculous. I refuse to spend that kind of money.
It's not as bad as Rage Against the Machine. Like their tickets are going upwards of $1,200-$1,300 a piece.
Yeah, I mean we talked about the Rolling Stones before. Like their concerts are in the thousand. They're like the the K's.
Yep. For sure, and none of us can afford it. I mean, I got lucky with Guns tickets just because I had an influx of money. But
I mean, if I really. I could go, but then I always think about a price like that. Like, for essentially $200, I could go get like a Switch Lite or something.
Yeah, I know.
I'd have something long lasting, or I could go get a whole new wardrobe almost.
Yeah.
New shoes, new pants, and shit like that. There's just so much more I could do with $200 than go enjoy myself for a few hours.
Yeah, I understand that, Breakman, but the way I feel about concerts, like, in my view, the Guns tickets were actually reasonable compared to what I was seeing for Rage Against the Machine. Rage Against the Machine was one of these bands that I hold in very high regard. I didn't like them when I first heard them, but they slowly grew on me, and then when I was listening to their lyrics, like, it really aligned with my way of thinking. You know what I mean? And They're just too expensive, dude. Like $1,000 a ticket. Like the cheapest I think was like nosebleeds for like $300, $400, $500. I'm like, I can't do that.
It's insanity.
Yeah, it really is.
I love going to concerts, and the memories you get from a concert are everlasting. You know,
that's the thing. That's why concerts are. I make an exceptions for concerts and events like wrestling events and like certain other things. Like the memories are the thing, Breakman, and that's why I'm definitely going to Guns N' Roses, because how many more concerts do those guys have in them? How many more tours? And I'm going to see Faith No More and Korn, because Faith No More hasn't been on tour in 20 fucking years, and I actually get a fucking chance to see them. I jumped on it, But $70 is pretty.
Doesn't come to Cincinnati. Like, this is like a rare thing. So if I don't go this time, then when's the next time, if there is a next
time?
You
should just buy those tickets, dude. I know it's a tough pill to swallow, but just buy the tickets, man. Just buy them. I'm telling you, dude, you'll kick yourself afterwards. That's like, there's one concert in particular that I want to go to, but it's not until September. A couple of them, actually like 3 of them, but there's just too many for me to go to all of them. But one of them was Gojira and Chevelle. I'm not a huge Chevelle fan, but I really like Gojira. But they're kind of young, so I that one I could see not going to, because I know they'll be back. Guns, I can't be sure they'll ever be back, so I had to go to that one. And Faith No More and Korn. I know Korn might be back, but Faith No More, that's like a once in a lifetime thing for me. Another thing like Journey was another one, but then I heard some shit about some of the band members not being there, and I'm like, I don't think so. And then there was another one. Yeah, there was another one.
I saw him live. Journey was good.
Yeah, did you see Journey with Panetta, or did you see him with Steve Perry?
Steve Aoki, actually.
Steve Aoki.
Yeah. He was the guy that took over for
Arnel Pineda. He's really good, really good. And I wouldn't mind seeing him, but I don't know. And then there was one more concert. I can't remember what it was, but I have to weigh it with, are they going to be back? If they're not going to be back, then it's sort of like I really wanted to see Def Leppard and Motley Crue, and there was one other band that was coming with them, because how many more times are those dudes gonna do it? But then I saw a video of Motley Crue singing Dr. Feelgood, and holy shit, Vince Neil has fucking lost like 1,000,000 steps. So I was like, and plus the tickets for that one were in the thousands, and I'm like, no fucking way on that. But there was one other concert that I was just kind of wondering, like, Jeff Tate from Queensryche was coming in. Those tickets are actually really reasonable, like $25, and I'm like, that one.
See, that I wouldn't even hesitate. $25 is like, I can do that. That's
fine. It's like a general admission thing. Like yeah. So I mean, those are things you gotta weigh, So, all right, what other sweetos you got, Break?
None. That's it.
That's it. All right, Eric, did you have a sweeto?
No, not really.
All right.
I have another one.
Oh, go ahead.
Unless I guess I could plug Gundam Wing dub being on Hulu, so now you can experience the horrible dub that is Gundam Wing, which adds to an already big clusterfuck of a TV show.
Yeah.
Because that's like the only reason you watch Gundam Wing is for the complete nonsense it is.
Yeah. Another TV viewer is in chat. Didn't even see you get in there. Another TV viewer. So welcome on in. All right.
I think the show is on Crunchyroll, but it might be subbed only, which is why the dub announcement's kind of interesting.
Yeah. All right, Break. Your other sweeto.
I said Ultimate Boob War.
Ultimate Boob War. Yeah, definitely, man. That's a definite.
That almost is always in one of those bundles every so often.
Yeah. Okay, my sweeto. This is. If I would have known I was going to be on national TV, guys, I would have took a sign. So
you went to wrestling. And
I did
on TV.
I did. If you guys
did
have,
you do anything significant, or were you just on the camera?
Can you just let me talk, Eric? Hold on, I'll tell you the whole story, man. I didn't do anything significant on camera other than look like a dumbass filming what was going on. But you could clearly see Bernie and you could clearly see me on national TV. And if I would have known, I would have brought a fucking sign with RPGrinders on it. I'm telling you guys.
You would have brought a sign that said DVSP is a bitch.
DSP is a bitch. Yeah, I probably would have. No, I really would have. I would have took a sign that it said at least at RPGrinders. But basically, what happened is last minute thing. AEW. I don't know. Break. You've heard me talk about AEW before, I think, right? Are you there, Break? Did we lose Break?
No, I'm here.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. You've heard me talk about.
I thought he got clotheslined.
Hold on.
Yes.
You've heard me talk about AEW a little bit in the past, but basically AEW is kind of an upstart company, and they are fucking phenomenal. Breakman, I'm telling you, you got to get on that AEW, dude. It'll bring you back to the awesome days of like Freak Five's in chat. What's up, Freak Five? Welcome on in. The early days of WWE and WCW and ECW all in one fucking package, man. It's the best thing going on in wrestling by far right now. They have it, dude. And so anyways, I was I don't know, I was scrolling through Twitter or something, and I saw the AEW account. They were like, we're gonna be in Denver tonight, and I was like, I'll go check and see how much tickets are. And I checked, and they were fairly reasonable. I think I paid $39 a ticket for decent ticks. They weren't like great ticks, but I was like, you hardly ever get chance to go to events like that. And it was AEW's first appearance in Denver, so I'm like, yeah, I'll go check it out. So I'm glad I did. It was fun. Like we were seated like it's a small arena. It was at it wasn't the Budweiser event. It was First Bank Center, which is kind of a smaller, intimate venue. So there's no bad seats in the house. So we were sitting in I think it was section 117 of that thing, and I didn't think anything of it. We were just enjoying the show, and then all of a sudden there was word that there was a wrestler that was going to appear right by us. So I was like, whoa, that's kind of cool,
You said AEW is like a smaller wrestling circuit.
Yeah.
But is it bigger than the one that Sterling's a part of?
Yes, it's definitely bigger than Rise, for sure. It's good, man. It's really good. It's totally non-stop action, man. Like we went and there wasn't a dull moment in that show, man. Like, like some wrestling shows, especially like WWE, there's like, mid-carders, like everything seems like a big event in AEW, which is really cool. And they only have like 3 or 4 pay-per-views a year, so you're not tied to that ever monthly, I got to see that pay-per-view and, all that type of shit. Like, they really have time to build their thing. And the thing with AEW versus WWE, they have creative license. So you're seeing a more pure product. Like, it's just
I saw
better.
some people kind of like being down on it over the weekend, though.
No, man, it's really fucking good, man. AEW is the best thing going right now. And they just had a pay-per-view. The Denver show was the first show after their pay-per-view. But you can see their pay-per-views on TNT. Not pay-per-views. They call it AEW Dynamite. And those, every show's like a fucking pay-per-view. It's awesome. It's just crazy. Like their performers are a million times better than anything that's on WWE, save for maybe The Fiend and a couple of other, cool things.
Who wants to give money to Vince McMahon?
Yeah, exactly. But it's really good. It's really fucking good. But anyways,
I'm not dying. It's just my throat drippage is just getting to me.
No, we need a ratings boost.
Yeah, I know, man. We gotta get those ratings. But anyways,
you gotta die. Sorry.
I don't know.
You're helping the cause, though. So.
There was a guy in WWE. His name was Dean Ambrose, right? And they treated Dean Ambrose like shit throughout his run. Like, they had a couple of moments, but basically he got to the point where he was sick of it, and he left the company after his contract was up, and he went to AEW. Well, long story short, he wins the title from Chris Jericho at the pay-per-view, and that was a huge thing. And so come to this event. This is Dynamite here in Denver, and lo and behold, Jon Moxley's basically 2 feet from me, 3 feet from me and Bernie, and I'm like, this is the coolest fucking thing in there. So I got my camera out and I recorded it, which I'll probably put that on the Grinders feed so everybody can check it out.
You should be showing it off right now. What the hell, man?
You know what? I don't have. I should have. If I would have uploaded it and remembered to upload it. Yeah,
this
I know.
Is ridiculous.
I tell you what. Next week.
I'm done. I'm done.
You know what I'm gonna do? Next week I will replay it over and over so you guys can see it on the feed. But anyways, so yeah, I was on national TV and so was Bernie. You could see us. If you're interested, you can check out AEW on TNT. Like, they have an app, and you can, if you have cable or satellite or, can see TNT somehow, some way, look up AEW Dynamite in Denver. And when Jon Moxley comes out at the top of the arena down, you can definitely see Bernie in her red hair. You can't miss it. And I'm right next to her taking video like a dumbass with my back to the camera. So there you go. That's my thing. Freak5 says, I've been listening to Star Wars audiobooks and podcasts the last couple of weeks and had a few thoughts. I wonder what those are, Freak5. So there you go.
I got some thoughts, like Disney trying to fix the movie post-release by telling us even stupider facts, like the fact that the Emperor is a clone.
Yeah, well,
I knew that. Like, that's what I thought he was at the beginning. Like,
yeah, it had to have
like
been.
They
pilfered from the EU when they said they wouldn't.
Isn't that what we talked about? Like, did he transferred his body into a clone body which couldn't survive?
Didn't have his powers,
some political.
Because that's the Sith's way of extending their life. They can't become a Force ghost.
Did Luke use R2's projector to watch porn? Oh boy. Here's a couple of quick breaking.
I would like to know more. Like,
I don't think that would have worked
had to have gotten laid, so we need to know more about that.
Okay, guys, I got a couple of political breaking news stories. Number one, Trump names Mark Meadows as his new White House chief of staff. So I guess Mulvaney is out. That's news to me. The other thing is Trump campaign has sued CNN over, quote, false and defamatory claims he sought Russia's help. He's got a case there, actually. He does. We'll talk about that more next week. I'll break that down next week and stuff. But we got time for our free-for-all, so let's go ahead and get into that.
It's a free-for-all! Little baby! Yeah, it's a free-for-all! Wow! Suck it!
Okay, guys. I'm going to do a mea culpa this week. Last week we talked a little bit about the coronavirus, and I kind of brushed it off, and I've read a lot since last week, and I've come around to it, and I got to give Eric a ton of credit because he was on this coronavirus thing for at least a week or two that I can recall. So I'm taking a mea culpa on this, but let's talk about the coronavirus. All right, lots of events have been shutting down. I know South by Southwest was shut down. Wyland just confirmed that Final Combat was shut down, except for the 16 participants that are in it right now. There's been talk about shutting down a hell of a lot more. I have a map, and let's see if I can pull it up here. Shit. Okay, here it is. Let me transition here, and we can talk a little bit about this. Okay, now I'm pulling up, for the people that are in archive listening, it's a map of the United States with the coronavirus cases in the United States. It looks very sporadic, all right? But within the next month, we're going to have a full-blown pandemic on our hands. I don't want anybody to get nervous and panic right now, because that's not what I want to do. But this is a bigger deal than I let it on to be last week, and I'll tell you why. All right, I'm looking at one county here in Washington, King County. All right, there have been 58 confirmed cases and 12 deaths as a result of this virus. Now, I know that's not indicative of the rest of the country, but it's too close for comfort for me, and I'll tell you why. Up until today, there were no confirmed cases in Colorado. Well, there's 2 cases now confirmed in Summit County, which is not too far from where we are. And I think there's a little bit of misinformation and bullshit going on, which ties into Trump and the way that he has been handling this whole thing. Break, I know that's part of the reason you kind of wanted to talk about the coronavirus, and I think we should have an honest conversation about it. My mom and dad go to it's a hospital called Denver Health. It's a major hospital in downtown Denver. And there's been no reports, but my mom physically saw the quarantine floor at Denver Health. So I know that there's more cases here in Denver, Colorado that they're not talking about. And it's kind of freaking me out. And it's not, I don't want names to be released. I mean, there's a reason why they don't name names in these things because of, just all kinds of shit that goes on that, can happen to people that have the virus or, that they're, the fear mongering that goes on and whatnot. But number one, let's talk about the political element, Breakman. What do you think about...
Before you're talking about your parents, we should be the deaths, we should clarify that most of the deaths have been to people who have impaired health, and especially the elderly.
Yes,
so
and this is of concern.
We're not necessarily worried about ourselves, but we're definitely worried about our parents in these type of situations.
Absolutely.
What this seems to be happening is it seems to get into a nursing home and then spread like wildfire. So.
Yes, Breakman. That's the thing. Like it is. It's scary for our parents. And everybody else, like our audience, I think are mostly middle-aged, maybe slightly less. But think of your parents and think of your grandparents, and that's who it's affecting the most. There's been studies suggesting that, kids were affected disproportionately. But now there's another story kind of saying that that's not the case. But definitely, for sure, 100%, the elderly are hit hard by this virus. All right, so it's not necessarily us, like you're saying, but our parents and grandparents are the ones that are. I mean, I don't have any more grandparents, but you know what I'm saying. Like if you're younger and you have grandparents that are in their 70s, 80s, 60s, it's gonna affect them more than anything. My mom is in that category. And she previously had cancer, and there's underlying health issues with my mom, and I'm deathly afraid for both my mom and dad. And right now, my dad is coughing his fucking head off, and it's really, really fucking scary. So I'm not saying that my dad has the virus or anything, but they were in a fucking quarantine place where the virus is confirmed. My mom all but confirmed it, right? I mean, if you have,
now, our chances of getting it are low. But you want to get into the political aspect of it.
Sure.
And I think I cut you off, didn't I?
No, that's okay. Let's get in.
Butt munch.
I didn't mean to do that. Yes. He's cut the CDC down to like bare bones, as far as like the working.
Yeah.
And right now, one of the things like really pissed me off is he's touring the CDC today or earlier today.
Yeah.
He's going there promoting his election, or it's the election and stuff like vote for me. And when we win, I think the Democrats will start working with me and stuff. That kind of shit. Like, CDC is supposed to be working on a cure for viruses around the globe and here in America. They're not supposed to be working on your ego.
Yeah.
Piece of shit.
Yeah. He is. He's. I don't think there's any more vile things that we can say about Trump that are true anymore. Breakman, I think we're beyond that. We all know how terrible he is, right?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. He finally agreed to sign a bill to give $3.2 billion to research and finding a vaccine and cure for the virus. He should have been doing that months ago, right?
Right.
We knew about
But-
this fucking thing. We wouldn't,
Right.
now, if Trump would have acted, we wouldn't have had 12 deaths in Washington, due to the coronavirus. We would have had maybe none. But as it stands now, I'm looking at the map, and you guys can see the map on the screen. You don't think that those cases right there are going to result in almost... I disagree with what you said in one aspect, Breakman. We are all going to get this fucking virus, or at least 80% of us are going to get this fucking coronavirus. The only people that really have to worry about it are the elderly, which most of us have parents and grandparents, and maybe kids. The jury's still out on kids, but I'm deathly afraid for my parents right now, guys. And it's not hyperbole to say that, the mortality rate for this virus is much higher than it is for the common flu. I made the point last week that the common flu takes way more lives than this virus ever would, but the mortality rate is just super high, especially with elderly people. I don't know what the latest numbers are, but the numbers I saw were like in the 3-4% percentile, which is way too high. And if you're looking at just specific counties, I mean, look at the death rate there. Confirmed cases 58, deaths 12. So that's like a third of that county that had that virus is dead. And that should scare the living shit out of almost anybody. There's a reason why China has closed 500 theaters. Italy, I think, has closed half of their theaters, and a lot of other like major things going on. South by Southwest was just canceled. Wyland in chat pointed out that the Final Combat thing wasn't canceled, but the live audience was. There's lots of events that people are looking at canceling, and for good reason. Last week I think I misspoke a lot, and this virus is definitely bad. And I'm not saying everybody should just fucking pack it in and go into their bunker, but I'm saying that we should have been way more prepared than we are now, and Trump didn't help the situation at all, Breakman.
Well, not only that, like, he is manipulating the media, obviously they're controlling the message as best they can and downplaying everything as best they can. Like, what do you say? It's less than 1% of the people have it.
That's true. That is true.
That's what Trump said.
Yeah.
Or less than 1% die. No, is what he said.
Yeah.
Not that they have it, which isn't true.
That's not true.
It was a complete and utter lie.
Nothing out of that. You should not trust anything Trump says. Let's get that straight right now.
But it's not just Trump. Like, he is controlling, like,
the media.
Yeah. Well, they just print everything he says like it's a fact, which is ridiculous. But I was gonna say, like, the vice president and all their, the GOP, and Fox News and all those people just repeat him like he's just like, yes, he's the hero that's saving us all.
Yeah, and it.
Meanwhile, every time I turn around, there's another state that's got it.
Yeah. So let's go to what Trump isn't telling people, Breakman. The best way that you can combat this virus is to wash your hands. Do not touch your face. Do not touch your eyes. Don't touch your mouth before you wash your hands. Wash your hands for at least 20 seconds with lukewarm to warm water, even up to hot, so that way you can, and do it often. Like, my mom went to go take care of my sister, who apparently has been sick, and I told her, if you walk in that house, you better wash your hands, like, frequently. I had
to quit Skype because I couldn't unmute myself.
It's all good, man. It's all good. So yeah.
I wanted to say, Abe is, of course, still putting the Olympics on as scheduled, which he really should consider, canceling the thing.
Japan hasn't been hit that hard with it, so before I make a judgment on that, Eric, like I don't know, like here, like.
Well, I mean, he went so far as to close the schools, so why not?
Yeah, but I it's the almighty yen in this case, Eric. I mean, he's not gonna. unless he knows it's going to be a full-blown pandemic, he's not going to shut down the Olympics, man. That's just not going to happen. But here in this country, we have I think the last numbers I saw, 90 to 95% chance that it's going to be a pandemic within the next month. So you can expect to get sick. If you're young and you're healthy, most likely you're going to be okay. But even young and healthy people have parents and grandparents that may not be in their type of health. So those are the ones that are going to be affected. And going back to the political thing, Breakman, we have Trump to thank for this, because if we had a president that was proactive and actually informed the people with facts and stuff straight from the CDC, we could have avoided a lot of this, up to and including avoiding a pandemic. And now we have to really worry about a pandemic, and it sucks. I think I don't know what's going on. I'm not going to say my dad has the coronavirus, because that's to be determined. But he's coughing. He's having all the symptoms of what people have been saying. And if he gets it, most likely I'm going to get it. I don't know what's going to happen, but I do know it's going to be a pandemic in this country. Japan, I'm not so sure. There's not, a lot of data on that. I know what you were saying, Eric. Abe shut down a lot of schools, which I think is the right move, because the number one way to transmit colds and flus is through the school system, public school system. So
here's another article related to Japan. The U.S. Embassy in Tokyo refused to test exposed staff for coronavirus. Of course.
They
want to pretend the whole thing's not happening.
Yeah, they could pretend.
This is literally that this is fine meme.
Yeah, it's just
the dog's in a burning building. He's just
here's another quick aspect before we leave that I want to talk about. All right, our country doesn't have sick leave for the most part. I know certain employers have. Sick leave.
I don't. We get 2 personal days.
2 personal days
that we can't renew over time.
Yeah, 2 personal days is not enough to get over even a common flu. So if you get this virus, you're going to go to work and you're going to get other people sick. There's just no two ways about it. Like, it's just how it's going to happen. So long story short, Americans need guaranteed sick leave, period. And it needs to be a week, 2 weeks, whatever it takes to get better and healthy before you go back to work. Because the last thing anybody wants to do, even businesses would agree.
I almost have half a mind to start a union and just wreak havoc at my workplace.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Even at the threat of losing my job, because there's a lot of bullshit that needs to change there.
Well,
and I'm tired of waiting for the change to come.
Good luck with that.
2-day vacation is one of the things that needs to change for sure.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, we have safety meetings every month, yet they don't actually address health issues. They just tell us how to avoid getting work so we don't feel liable for it. Yeah. And so that OSHA doesn't go down our throats.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like a company.
And also, here's something I'm going to tell. It's kind of a PSA for people. Don't go buy masks, please. Don't do that, because
that's not going to help you.
It's not going to help you.
Waste of money.
It's not going to help you unless you actually have the virus. If you don't have the virus and you're not showing any symptoms, please do not go and purchase face mask. Do not do it. It shortens the supply.
People at my workplace wear face masks at the 38 machine because there's lots of ink being used there.
Yeah, I mean that's to be expected. Or a place that's really dusty or has a lot of allergens in the air. Of course you're going to wear a face mask. But I'm saying for the normal everyday person. I mean, I went to the store today and you should have seen the fucking hand sanitizer is gone, like completely gone. You can't buy it anymore right now. It's just weird.
Yeah, also, the hand sanitizer is not a replacement for actually wash your hands with soap and water, but it's better than not using it.
Yeah, wash your hands is the best thing. Wash your hands. Don't touch your face, mouth, nose, eyes, none of that. Freak5 says, since Luke's prosthetic hand was covered in synthetic skin, did it feel like a fleshlight when he masturbated?
Why would Luke even masturbate? He doesn't seem like the person who would do that.
Maybe he's
Luke's
asexual.
Too pure for that.
Yeah, maybe he's too pure. Yeah, maybe he's a Jonas clone. Let's see. Freak5 says, my job has added more signs to the bathroom telling us to wash our hands before leaving the bathroom. What's fucked up is there were already signs on the
Men are
doors. The new ones,
disgusting because they don't wash their hands.
the new ones are on the mirrors above the sink. The people already washing the hands are the ones seeing them. Yeah, I understand that, but man, people have to wash their hands. Like, I think Breakman and I discussed this last week and even this week. Like, people just don't fucking wash their hands, even if they poop. It's fucking madness.
Gross.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. Wyland says, "You're not the boss of me." Touch his face. Well, good luck with that, Wyland. Yeah, don't wash your hands, dude. Don't go to the bathroom and wash your hands. It's the best advice that anybody could give anybody. Constantly wash your hands, especially if you're in a work environment with lots of people, especially people that are coughing. I mean, I've seen that 100 times. You know how you're supposed to, if you cough in your arm, not into the atmosphere. People don't do that. So, I mean, just do the best you can. I mean, most likely we're all going to catch this virus, but in order to mitigate, wash your hands often.
That's why con flu happens, because all those gremlins that go to the cons don't wash their hands.
Yeah, that's true.
They probably don't even shower either.
That's why, I mean, it's important, like to cancel some of those.
Shouldn't even bother going to cons.
Yeah. Let's see. And the sign says, "Please, an adult needs to be reminded to wash their hands. We shouldn't be polite about it." Yeah, exactly. I agree, Freak 5.
If I go to con, I'm wearing gloves and I'm putting a face mask on.
Yeah, you might as well. Wyland says, "I don't see how you can drip a number 2 and not wash."
He said drop a number
Drop a
2. Drip a number 2.
Wyland,
That's a little liquid shit.
I agree with you, Wyland, but I even take it one step further. Even if you do a number 1 and you don't wash your hands, it's fucking gross as fuck. Okay, let's not mince words. If you do that, you're fucking nasty, and maybe you deserve.
If you take a piss and you don't touch your junk, wash your hands anyways, because chances are you accidentally rubbed against it when you were putting your pants back up.
Yeah. Wash your hands all the time, especially right now. Right now, if let's say you never wash your hands, now's the time to fucking wash your hands. Okay, like seriously, wash your hands.
Did you guys not right this moment?
RPGrinders needs a hand washing break segment.
Yeah, I think our PSA is hand washing. Speaking of hand washing, we need to get out of here. So let's do our plugs. Breakman, what you got?
Man, I'm sure like G.I. Joe and the Ninja Turtles told me at some point to wash my hands. Like, I know other people were watching those cartoons. What
Transformers.
Man, what's wrong with you people?
I'm sure the Transformers did that too, man.
Yeah, them too. Like they told you to wash your hands and not to kick dogs and shit like that. Like what's wrong with you fuckers? Like wash your goddamn hands.
Yeah, and look, Freak 5 says what worried me is the additional concern at my job should have already been there. We send medicine to people who are already sick. See, that's the thing, Freak 5. That's absolutely correct. All right, Break, what you got?
Don't kick puppies. Knowing is half the battle.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you mean? You didn't know that already? You sick bastard.
Knowing's half the battle. All right,
That's
Break, what you got?
It should have always been a concern, not just now because of the one disease.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
I
Like,
agree.
It's so disgusting. People don't wash their hands. I don't get it. Like, I wash my hands all the time. Miss Breakman thinks I don't wash them enough. I'm like okay.
It's almost as if people don't understand what microscopic bacteria is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's another problem. Employers are all about that almighty dollar. Like, if somebody's sick, just send them fucking home, man, or believe them. Just believe them.
It'll cost you more probably just to get to keep them there, and then with the threat of them getting everybody else sick and you not having anybody to do your work.
Yeah, no, man, you gotta. I mean, you can't look down on people for taking sick days, man. I don't even give a fuck how many sick days there are. I mean,
I asked my dad about whether or not my workplace was going to be giving us sick days, but his answer was basically shit, because he was basically saying looking into letting us take vacation time without having to have it be an occurrence.
That's some bullshit right there, man. That's just bullshit. I mean, this coronavirus is bringing a lot of things.
Being sick shouldn't be consumed by vacation.
I agree. I totally agree. Totally agree with that. All right, we gotta go. Breakman, what you got?
I don't have much, but I do have this.
How dare you? How dare you hit us with that harmonica? Oh boy. How dare you? How dare you, Breakman? Where can we find you on Twitter, Breakman? All right, Breakman. What are your plugs?
At break_man on Twitter and at RPGrinders, where you can send us questions or comments, or you can ask Dear Breakman a question, or you could tell us how much we suck. We don't care. Just send us something. But, Dear Breakman would be cool too.
Breakman, I think if you get the flu, I would excuse you from RPGrinders. Just saying.
Right.
Just saying. Yeah, follow Breakman on Twitter at break_man and definitely at RPGrinders. Send them your questions. We need questions. They could be your sexual fantasy questions, like can we shack up with you and Mrs. Breakman type questions. I'm sure he'll take you through all that.
How horny will Break be when he gets that Ultimate Boo Wars game?
Damn, that's a good question.
All right, Eric, you're up, man.
I'm sure you could play a game like that on your laptop.
Yeah, I'm sure. All right, Eric.
Well, I guess I could put the laptop on the desk or something.
Yeah. All right, Eric.
You can find reviews I've written on sites like BostonBashBrigade.com, TotallyGN.com, and VogNetwork.com. Nothing this week, but if you like what I've written and you want to support me, sending me as little as $1 on my Patreon would help out a lot. And you can go there through my Twitter account at EricRPG, or just look me up on Patreon.
That's Eric at EricRPG. All right. Anything else, Eric?
Wash your fucking hands, please. You don't want to end up with a cold like me.
Yeah. Okay.
You don't want to get somebody else sick, do you?
Yeah. Well, that's yeah. You can follow me on Twitter at Frank Branches. You can follow me on any of the systems just RPGrinders on Nintendo and the systems, Xbox, PlayStation, etc. Make sure you pre-order your PlayStation and your Xbox as you possibly can. I don't normally call for pre-orders, but I have a feeling there's going to be a delay on some of the systems. So make sure you pre-order if you're going to buy those systems. You could see me on AEW Dynamite Denver /Broomfield edition. If you have TNT, go check out AEW Wrestling. Dynamite.
Your audio is going to complete shit, by the way.
Can you hear me now? Can everybody hear me?
No, you're breaking in and out really bad. I just didn't want to interrupt you because you were on
Oh
spiel,
shit,
but, yeah,
that sucks. Can you hear me?
Bad.
Can you hear me better now? Anything better?
Nope.
No. That sounds like something you need to
you
might as well
stink.
All right. Follow me on Twitter at Frank Branches. Make sure you wash your hands. That's all I'm going to say. Anything else, gents?
Yeah, wash your hands or you're gonna sound like Frank.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to sound like me.
Frank's got the coronavirus. His computer does.
I know his computer's dying before our eyes. Like Corona's killing
computers. I know. Can you guys hear me now? Barely.
No. You just sound worse.
Just like Frank, his computer's old.
Oh,
every time he goes to fix it, it gets worse.
Oh boy. Hang.
Oh, Frank's killed the show.
Can you hear me? Sorry, guys.
Let's just hang up now.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, you sound a little bit better now.
Okay, let's see. Yeah, you could check me out, actually. When you go see the latest edition of AEW Dynamite, you could see Bernie with her flaming red hair, in all her glory. And all of my glory, I guess. I'm right next to her. I'm the schmuck with the black jacket with my back to the camera when John Moxley comes down the arena.
And it says "fuck the police" on it, doesn't it?
Yeah, I wished it did, man. If I would have known I was gonna be on TV, I would have definitely brought a sign for RPGrinders, but I had no idea I was gonna be on. But anyways, check that out. Anything else, gents?
Trump is the Antichrist.
I don't know if I'd go that far, but he's pretty fucking close, man.
Left Behind happened, and the rest of us are still here, and we get Trump.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, that's about all the time we got left for this week. Stay safe this weekend. We want to see you back here next week. Till then, we're out. Later, everybody.
In other words, not very many people actually went to heaven when they were raptured.
Well, see, the rapture happened a few years ago. A lot of people don't understand.
Rapture
The only
talking.
one that went to heaven, the only one who was approved, was the Macho Man Randy Savage. The rest of us are fucked.
I don't even know how to respond to that. Later, everybody. All right, everybody in chat, thank you so much. Freak, thanks for joining late. Let's see, another TV viewer, thank you so much. Commander Root, and of course Wyland, thank you guys, really appreciate it. Freak, if you're gonna be on the PlayStation, I may play with you. Send me an invite. I know you sent me one, I think it was last week or the week before, but I was not available. But I'm free until about midnight tonight or so. So, because I got to go get Bernie from work. So, if you jump on, Freak, I'll definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be there.
I'm glad she waited until we were done to start playing with it.
All right, everybody in chat, thank you guys so much. Really appreciate it. Later.